This week on the Bryan and Ryan podcast, we're grounding the hype and talking about what's really happening in the aviation industry. First up, the 12-year engine overhaul crisis has gone from regulatory debate to a full-blown national emergency. Over 1,300 aircraft are effectively grounded, operators are shutting down, and the task team is heading to court. We break down the latest media release and what it means for you. Then, EASA's plan for single pilot airline operations is cancelled. We unpack what killed the concept and what this says about autumn and cockpit reality. And finally, the Captain Conundrum. Why are experienced pilots turning down promotions? Hi, pal.
How's it, guys? Lots of juicy topics this week.
Yeah. It was a cool convo on Monday with Kev and Hoitzi. Let's jump into that right now. That episode went pretty viral. And it means that there's obviously a major interest for people on this subject, and certainly for us, because it obviously affects us. Anyone in the industry, I suppose. Let's jump in. If you haven't checked out that interview we did, I highly suggest you do. It was a good one. And I don't think there could be two better guys handling this, the 18-19 task team.
Yeah.
So Kevin and Hoitzi, I mean, the guys spoke so well. They seem to be ultra on point and direct with what they are trying to do. And I'm kind of comfortable knowing that they're handling it. You know what I mean? I feel at ease, because I think those are the perfect guys for the job.
Absolutely. Two very competent and well-spoken, like you say, astute, very knowledgeable guys on the subject. And I think the industry is hopefully in safe hands when it comes to trusting them to deliver that message. And wishing them all the very best with their endeavor to try and get something right, because it does have a massive, massive knock-on effect for all those involved.
Right, well, let's unpack it a little bit, yeah? So industry deadlock, the ARC 18.19 task team, representing 5 major aviation bodies in South Africa, is pursuing urgent legal action over the 12-year engine overhaul rule. Now, this is all coming out of a media release, was a PDF Johan Lottering sent to me. I'll leave that PDF in the show notes. You can check it out there. Despite high-level engagements, including talks with the Minister, Barbara Creasy, the South African Civil Aviation Authority moved forward without incorporating agreed CARCOM amendments. The updated SA CATs were published on the 19th of June 2025, effectively grounding 1,372 plus aircraft. The number, of course, is increasing. So that's where the industry deadlock comes from. Let's look at the actual engine side of things, what it's all about. The law mandates engine overhaul every 12 years, regardless of actual engine condition or hours, replacing a 20-year safer alternative method. So this is where it gets a little bit complicated, because if you're a flying customer on an airplane, you kind of reading this and going, yeah, well, I'm glad that the CIA have mandated a policy to overhaul the engines if they are more than 12 years old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you take, let's play devil's advocate a bit, yeah. Us in the industry, we know that a 12-year-old engine that doesn't fly a lot is almost regarded as brand new.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what they're fighting against as well is that there are programs out there where regular scheduled maintenance gets done, and it basically breaks up a whole overhaul into smaller segments that get done
over time.
It makes it more affordable for the owner operator of the aircraft to actually achieve it. And the engine is still as safe as it possibly can be.
Yeah.
Well, the result is now the way things are going to just ground all of these aircraft. Man, it's a little bit heavy-handed.
It affects mainly Lycoming and Continental engines, and overhaul lead times are 31 months. Local facilities lack capacity to absorb the sudden overhaul demand. So even if every aircraft owner was on board with this rule, which of course they're not, but let's say they are, that still means that you still can't get your engine overhauled because of this increased demand, which means this very, very expensive bit of kit that you've got that likely is costing you a lot of money per month. You can't use it to earn income. It's a problem.
It's a big problem, man.
It's not good. All right, let's look at the economic fallout here. So estimated direct cost to the industry exceeds 2 billion rand. An individual engine overhaul costs between 1 and 1.6 million, depending on the type and complexity. Indirect costs include loss of aircraft use, downtime, removal, refitment, and compliance with SBs and ADs. Aircraft sales and exports blocked without valid certificate of airworthiness, rendering many aircraft unfit for use. So the economic impact is massive. The national impact, layoffs and business closures are already underway. International connectivity and regional economic activity under threat. CAA's own ABC revenue model could collapse due to loss of aviation activity. This is a big thing. It's a huge topic here.
It's far-reaching. I mean, prior to our conversation on Monday with Kevin and Hoitzi, it was, you tend to only think of how this affects you as an individual or how it affects your sort of area of aviation. But you break it down like this and you realize what a ripple effect it has, man. And the economic impact is going to hurt.
Right, that's the economic impact. Let's go one step further. So safety and liability. Yes. Some pilots are considering flying these aircraft despite the ruling if C of A's aren't officially withdrawn. So now you've got pilots that are saying, well, stuff it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be...
it's a bit gung-ho as well.
It is a bit gung-ho.
Insurance is not going to pony out if anything happens.
Insurance caveats are not legally binding permissions to fly. Liability risks are massive. And of course, this is highly discouraged by the task team themselves and us. Only the CAA has authority to approve or revoke operations.
Yes.
Next steps. The task team is collecting funds for litigation, but remains hopeful ministerial intervention could reverse the situation. The guys seem to speak highly of Barbara Creasy there. It seemed to be like they were making headway there. Let's hope that is the case. Aviation communities urged to join the campaign or donate confidentially via their respective organizations or online.
I think it's one of those situations where industry really has to get behind this group of people that are trying to fight for it. Otherwise, they don't stand a chance.
Yeah, it's an important one for all of us. Anyway, it's there. This information I've sort of tried to summarize a bit from what Johan sent me in that press release. So have a look at that doc. We'll leave it in the show notes there. And you make up your own mind. Give it a full read. I've tried to break it down for you as simple as possible.
Yeah.
Can we head to something positive?
Let's do that for a change.
Some good news regarding single-engine pilot operations that has been rearing its head for the past couple of years. Spoken about it quite a few times. There was a task team, I believe, as well. I don't know where those guys are from. Probably the States. Yeah. What was it called? It starts with 2 or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Anyway, this is good news for the industry. Basically, EASA, and it's not FAA, but EASA has officially paused its work on establishing rules to allow single pilot operations in commercial air transport, especially the concept of extended minimum crew operations and single pilot operations, after determining that under current cockpit configurations, an equivalent level of safety cannot be demonstrated when compared to standard two-pilot operations. He noted that critical safety areas such as pilot incapacitation, fatigue management, physiological needs, and workload cross-checks still present significant risks. EASA is now shifting focus to the development of a smart cockpit equipped with advanced automation, performance, and alertness monitoring systems and autonomous safety functions. Only once these technologies prove they can match or exceed current two-pilot safety levels will EASA reconsider any move towards fewer crew.
It's about time that they eventually got to this consensus. And I can't help but wonder why.
Took so long.
Yeah, why it took so long for starters. And did they really go and do the research to realize that this was a cuck idea to begin with? Or had they listened to enough of our podcasts to realize that that's never going to work?
Well, let's open the floor about it. I think EASA have done this pretty well, if you ask me. Because if you go across to where this originally came out on EASA website, it's quite laid out quite nicely. It's a project. The project is it's detailed there who the project leader is and how much money is going to be spent on the project. And then it's got what is the project. They're going to check out is single pilot operations possible?
Yeah.
And they've done the research and they come out with a result. And the result is no.
Yeah.
So pretty good, I think, how EASA have done this. But let's sort of dumb this down a little bit, maybe for non-aviators as well. To give you an example, take like a relatively fancy car, like even like a new Mercedes or like a fancy Audi or something. The flight deck, the cockpit in your car there, has got all sorts of fancy, nice screens, and they work beautifully well. But they're quite complicated compared to your iPhone or an Android or something. So the car companies, and I would say the aircraft OEMs as well, they aren't quite there in terms of how good their software systems are compared to the likes of what the average Joe is used to on their device, if you're trying to understand what I'm saying. So if you've got to travel somewhere quickly and you want to jump in your car, even if you've got a built-in GPS system on your in your car, you're still likely to get on your phone, chuck in the details, and you're going to use your phone to go there because it's just easier.
Yes.
So until such time as these smart cockpits are really smart, it's just not going to work with a single pilot.
Yeah.
Because they are smart now, but it's still the same. You're still reading the same information. Your ITT temperature is digital. Before it was analog. It's the same. If it's high, you got a problem. If it's in the green, you're cool.
Also, let's not forget the real reason why pilots are there. You don't get paid necessarily to just sit there and fly an airplane. You get paid for what you are trained to do when things go wrong.
Yeah.
And
you're probably paid for about 5 minutes a month or something.
Pretty much, yeah. And there's no ways that the aircraft are that capable now where it could completely take over in an emergency and handle it as good as a pilot would.
Yeah.
For the most part. Yeah, totally agree. So, yeah, good result there, and I'm chuffed about that one.
So it doesn't represent a permanent ban, but rather a firm halt until safety equivalence can be established through rigorous testing and cockpit modernization. In short, EASA conclusion effectively cancels any immediate pathway to single pilot airline operations.
So we put that subject now into the mooted closet along with sustainable aviation fuel for a while.
No, you're not going to. The sustainable aviation fuel you're going to be hearing about for many years to come. Can we talk command upgrades?
Yeah, this is an interesting subject.
Yeah, I'm doing a bit of research through the week, trying to think of interesting topics to chat about. And with the big sort of push at this stage, so many people advancing in their careers, a lot of first officers becoming captains and a lot of movement in the industry, unprecedented because of the past, I don't know how many years when you spent 20 years as an first officer there learning the trade. Those days are gone.
No, the command upgrade and the career progression is somewhat rapid at the moment.
It is. So let's go through it. So I pulled some data and let's see what it means. So some interesting things here. Over 38% of US airline pilots are over 50. FAA projects 3,750 pilot retirements annually by 2029. Legacy carriers are losing massive institutional knowledge. The industry didn't anticipate the speed of post-COVID exits. So that's some sort of key talking points. What's the implication? Massive vacuum in terms of experience, CRM, mentorship, captain-level decision-making. Where am I getting this data from? All the sources are there. I'll leave those links for you in the notes as well. Some other areas that sort of follow on for that. Promotions are up 18% year on year due to staffing shortages. United Airlines has nearly 50% of captain vacancies unfilled. Why? Because pilots are turning down the role. That's why I wanted to bring this up.
Yeah.
Pilots are turning down the role for captain. Common reasons: stress, lifestyle cost, and risk versus reward just not being worth it. There's a quote here from a captain or a United Airlines first officer. If I took the promotion, I would have ended up divorced. So being a captain is no longer aspirational. Burnout begins before the upgrade. Why must I take the extra responsibility?
Yeah,
it seems weird.
It does. I mean, because, you know, naturally the whole dream and the aspiration of becoming a pilot is to one day say, I have command of this, you know,
Machine.
500 tons of aluminium. And but naturally, as it's been historically, there's always been a very healthy package associated with that responsibility and the perks.
So is that not there anymore? I didn't understand that wasn't there. Are you just saying that now a first officer earns that much more, that the jump to command is not...
I think it depends on what airline you're with. I'd know that there are certain airlines, even domestically now, where the jump in salary from the right-hand seat to the left-hand seat is not that big. Mm-hmm. So you are taking on a whole lot more responsibility for not a whole lot more cash.
So the cool job at the moment is actually an FO.
Yeah.
Sort of knows your stuff, don't have to make the decisions, not my problem type of...
Yeah, and you get similar bucks.
Yeah. Does that sort of follow on from what we see as well? Certainly when we were at the sunrise of our careers, the aspiration to get onto heavier metal was very much there. You know, you kind of, you saw this career path and you wanted to fly, you know, more advanced equipment. You wanted to progress. What we're seeing these days, I don't see that anymore. You see guys that are flying a 1900 and they're more than happy earning a real decent amount of income. A guy that comes to mind, Dale Williams. Dale lives a cool life. I mean, Dale's family's there in Italy. He's got a cool contract job. I don't see him sort of swapping that job out for something, you know, flying something big and domestic or whatever. He's got things pretty sorted out. And this whole thing about what aircraft you fly seems to have sort of withered away a bit.
Yeah, I agree. It does seem to have doesn't seem to be as attractive anymore. I mean, back in the days, I think the real attraction was being able to go away to mostly exotic destinations for a good period of time and have an absolute jaw. Yeah, flying was fun, and the first of all, the turnaround times weren't as tight, so you could actually afford to go out, explore new cities, have a beer or 10, and still get enough rest to be fresh for the return leg. Whereas now, you land, hotel room, doors, turn around, come back. It's way different.
Well, let's have a look here. Some other interesting figures. We have spoken about this with that IATA forecast, but 650,000 and more new pilot jobs needed by 2043 globally, 120,000 needed in the US alone over 20 years. Hundreds of regional jets will be grounded due to lack of crew. So it's not a bump, it's a tidal shift. The industry can't train fast enough. And then using that as a bit of a segue, guess who's coming to South Africa for a roadshow?
Yep. I've heard Emirates are on the way.
Emirates, let's bring it up here. What does that say? Pilot roadshows. Meet us at a city near you. Come and meet Emirates pilot recruitment team to learn all about the aspects of our pilot recruitment process from application to assessment. Know what to expect as an airline, as an Emirates pilot, including training, rosters, benefits, and packages. Our roadshows are open to all interested pilots, and if you have a partner, they're welcome to come along. I suppose that's highly recommended. Use the roadshow location finder, blah, blah, blah. Then it's got just South Africa, 19th of August at 10 a.m. Where's that? Protea Far and Ice Hotel in Joburg. See what they need.
Yeah. I think of all the major carriers out there, Emirates still seems to be the one that's pulling the most attraction.
Yeah, for sure.
And
there's a simple form you have to fill in: name, email address, phone number. Please select the session date and time. Joburg, 19th of August. There's one at 10 a.m., 1 p.m. Then on the 20th at 10 a.m. Then Cape Town, there's 3 on the 21st of August, 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. And then the 22nd of August at 10 a.m. It's got you. Will you be attending with your spouse or partner? How did you hear about the roadshow? On the Bryan Air podcast.
yeah.
Country of residence, nationality, current position. And then I thought the reason bringing this up as well, current aircraft flown, it's got a few boxes here to tick. So first one, Airbus A320 family, Airbus A330, Airbus A340, Airbus A350, A380. Boeing 737, 747, 757, 67, 777, and 787. And then another box that says other.
Cirrus.
Yeah.
King Air. Yeah.
So yeah, you can tick the other box. There's nothing wrong with that. Total number of hours on Airbus/Boeing. Total number of hours above 20 tons. I suppose that's more important than the Airbus or Boeing. But anyway, have you submitted an application, yes or no? So yeah, certainly not pushing people to... if you're looking for another job, I don't see how you can look past an Emirates opportunity.
No.
They are coming here, so probably well worth a visit. I like what they say about bring your spouse or partner along. It's almost like make this decision together.
Yeah, no,
it's the right move.
It's the only way to do it, if you want to stay together. For the long run, it's important because the family life has to work out. Anyway,
they seem to have a big emphasis, the whole of the Middle East, to be honest, on the family side. I suppose they realize that you are going to work hard, and I think they do what they can to make it as comfortable and lifestyle friendly as possible.
Yeah, of course. Have they done away with the age limit? I remember, and I could be talking out of my arse here, but there was an age limit of a 45 or something at one stage.
I'm not sure.
I think.
There's nothing. It
doesn't say anything about age limit.
It doesn't, no. So obviously you can make the normal application online for the job. There are positions available, but then this is an application for the actual roadshow. And I, from what I've heard, guys that have been in the past, pretty well organized, answer a lot of questions. You leave there feeling, okay, might be the way to go. So yeah, well worth a visit. It's around the corner if you are interested.
Yeah, it's the only way to make that informed decision as well. Because I think what happens is a lot of acts is you listen to your mate, and your mate will go and he'll sell you the
package.
executive package.
Yeah,
and different folks for different strokes. So,
yeah, I think with the restrictions on the social media side for pilots, pilots are not sort of mainstream on social media. The airlines don't like their pilots snapping off pictures in the flight deck, and that. So the guys are pretty restrained from saying too much. So you're not going to see stuff online positively or negatively. But we do chat to the guys, and I must say, lately I haven't heard too many negative things. The guys are like, "Yo, we work hard, but we're getting paid." So
it's par for the course. Especially when you fetch a 6 months bonus.
Exactly.
It sweetens the deal.
It does. I think I probably said it last week on the show. If you're getting paid, it solves a lot of those those problems. But I hope you enjoyed the show today. What sports happening this weekend, bro?
But we've got Formula One. It's in Silverstone this weekend. So we've got George Russell defending the title.
Yeah. It's Silverstone this weekend.
Silverstone, yeah.
That'll be a good one. Lando crowd is going to be going bonkers there.
No, they're going to be going tilt.
Particularly if someone can take out Max again on the first corner.
Lots of controversy in that world. Have you heard the rumors about Max sniffing out a Mercedes contract from next year?
Yeah.
And
I just see that happening. Toto Wolff is a bit of a beast when it comes to the business side of things.
Yeah.
And watch, Max is going to go there, and I reckon Christian Horner is going to go to Ferrari.
You think so?
Yeah. You heard it first on the Bryan podcast.
I'd actually have to put money on that. But look, Formula One certainly isn't boring at the moment.
No, it's not. It's pretty cool.
Lots to keep you entertained there.
I'm no hiding that I'm a Max fan. I just like his sort of aggressiveness and the way he races, but it's going to be hard for me not to support Piastri in the future as well. I like that youngster. I mean, he's got his head screwed on straight. He doesn't seem to get overly emotional when he makes an error like he did. He tried to make that overtake there. He knew it. He didn't try and cover up and back up his mistake. Sorry guys, that shouldn't have done that. Won't happen again.
Yeah.
He's such a level-headed guy. Hard to bet against that guy in the future.
No, of course. For the first time in the years that I've been supporting Formula One, this season, 2025, is the first time that my team has actually been on top for the most part of the year. I know, both Piastri and Lando, I think, have been racing really well. Lando needs to catch a bit of a wake up.
Yeah.
But, no, it's lots of fun. And other sports. We've got Springbok Rugby on again.
Italy.
Down the road from our place there at Loftus.
The only news I've heard about that match is that the referee is a female.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
But no doubt we will be smashing Italy in that game.
Yeah.
Because
I was in Cape Town last week.
Let's just face it. Italy pretty average at the old game of rugby. We try and make them they cuck. And particularly at Loftus, they're going to get smashed.
Knowing you well enough, I know what you're going to say, but you can't say. But I was in Cape Town last weekend when they were playing the Barbarians, but the weather was cold.
Not good.
Yeah, hopefully it's better tomorrow.
Yeah, it looked a bit miserable, and the people in the crowd there watching the game.
Yeah.
Now, Loftus should be good, but it'll be cold there as well.
I think
pretty nippy outside there today. There was good UFC last week. The youngster I spoke about, Ilya Topuria, is a beast. He's going to be around for many years. He's like the new face of the UFC, the new sort of era. And these oaks are bringing in, it's not just a sport anymore where you go in the ring and try and knock the guy out. There are so many little intricate sides to it. So that's cool, but even more important, next month we got Drickus taking on Chimaev, so that's a big one.
Where is that fight?
That's in Chicago.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's a massive one. Yeah, so that's Drickus representing there. And I don't know if you've taken notice, but there's a lot of it on X coming out, and I might be wrong about this, but I don't think I am. South Africa is, I think, the most successful country in the world at the moment regarding sport.
Yeah, I can believe it.
We have Let me try to find it here quickly.
We won the cricket just the other day.
Yeah, we've got... My mom sent this to me. Let me try to find it here. Yeah, here we are. South Africa achievements in 2025. World's best test cricket team. World's best rugby team. World's strongest man. World's strongest woman. World's best surfer. World's fastest man for 100 meters. World's fastest woman in 800 meters. World's fastest 4x100 meter men's team in 2025. World's fastest 4x100 mixed team. World UFC champion, undefeated in 2025.
I can believe that.
South Africa, bro.
Yeah. We produced the world's best pilots. And you took the words out of my mouth. The world's best podcast.
Cool, pal. Always good doing the show with you.
Yeah, I enjoyed that, guys. It was big fun. Catch you on the next one.
Bye for now.